Hey, sweetheart. How are you? The date is Thursday, July 28th, 2022. Quote of the day, let's unlock. God, phones are so weird. Whenever you get old and like what your phones are going to have in like 10 years, I can't believe what you can do. Okay, Barack Obama said, the real test is not whether to avoid this failure, because you won't. It's whether you let it harden or shame into your interactions, or whether you learn from it, whether you choose to preserve. That's pretty good. So I'm going to probably try to throw more videos, maybe like 2 a week or something like that. Basically, when I get an idea of a video, I'm going to talk about it. Because my old friend is in the hospital and not doing too good. And just made me start thinking, like, if something would ever happen to me, I'd like to leave as many of these out there for you as possible. But today is about excuses or accountability. Now, excuses and accountability are, in my mind, two different answers to the same question. And the question is usually putting blame on you. Now, most people I think give excuses. So an excuse is, it's not my fault. This is why it happened. That person did it. That person didn't help out. And accountability is when someone goes, no, yep, that's my fault. I could have did this better. And next time I'll do it better. Now, why is it so important for me to talk to you about this? When you make an excuse for something, you don't grow. When you take accountability, you grow. You think about it. Like, yeah, that was my fault. There was a time right before COVID, which I got demoted from driller to basically derrick hand, which was a blessing in disguise. It's I'm not going to get into that story, but the universe has always been really good to me. But that happened because I had this one employee, one crew member, let's say, and in my mind, he was kind of a turd, and he didn't work hard. He was one of those guys that made all these excuses and stuff like that. Now, as a leader, you don't just lead a team. You got to lead individuals too. It's you can't be a leader without leading individuals, because individuals make a team. But I didn't do good with him, because everybody needs to be led differently, and I definitely screwed up with him. And then when I got demoted, it was super weird because everybody made excuses for me. And so it caused me to make excuses until a couple months later, I had to realize, like, I was just a bad leader. I didn't lead him right. And that's how I grew. That was one of the things that happened in my life where I was like, okay, I need to learn from this. And there's a lot of things, like, even if I go back to every relationship, either if I broke up with them or they broke up with me, I can make excuses about everything. Or I can take fault for all the things I did. Now, if I made excuses, I'd just be going down the same thing with every relationship I get into. But I don't make excuses, because 9 times out of 10, it's your pop's fault, because I make it my fault. I find a reason where I am at fault so I can learn from it. And I just think that's a really good way to look at life. Not necessarily blaming myself, but looking for reasons where I could make myself better. And plus, blaming other people is just not healthy. And I think people that blame other people, I just look down on them. I just think it's rude, because usually that person's not around. So you're basically talking shit about people, and it's just not a healthy thing to do. So when you're going through life and you fail, because that's when people either take accountability or they make excuses when they fail at something. Instead of placing blame on anything, find reasons where you can make yourself better. And if you do that with everything, do your best. It's not cut and dry every time. There's so many variables in every situation. I just want you to just look at it. Just like, what? Where could have I went better? And that's when writing stuff down is important. Talking to yourself is important. And I was actually talking to one of my sisters, actually my little sister. And she, she randomly texts me, how are you? And I'm like, hey, what's up? And she's like, oh, so-and-so's happened, but I just don't want to complain about it. And I told her there's a difference between complaining and venting. And venting's important. I got something in my throat now. Venting is very much important, but it's only venting when you go to people you trust. If you just tell everybody about your problems, you're not venting anymore. You're just complaining and most likely want attention. But venting is good too. And but when you vent, make sure in those scenarios, think about how you could do better. Because some situations when you have to be the bigger person, and I told this to my sister, is like taking the high road sucks sometimes. It hurts to be good. It hurts to be nice when you feel that you didn't do anything wrong and you want the other person to be punished and it doesn't happen. It's just one of those things. But I'm getting kind of off track of the whole topic of this video. So, sweetheart, don't make excuses for everything. Take accountability for your actions and learn from them, no matter what happens in your life. Because the more you take accountability, the more you will grow. And the more you grow, the sweeter you're going to be. I promise you. I love you, sweetheart. Always will. And I miss you. I hope I get to see you soon. And for everybody else out there, I love you too. Peace.